Ladies and gentlemen, there comes a time in your life when you must understand. Not everyone will see you for who you are becoming. Some people are too limited in their thinking to understand the magnitude of your purpose. They will try to make you feel small because your dreams make them uncomfortable. But hear me clearly, you don't owe an explanation for your vision to anyone who can't see it. Stop wasting your energy justifying your calling to those who were never meant to understand it. You are not required to shrink your light just because someone else is blinded by it. You are not here to convince them. You are here to become. Small-minded people will always question what they cannot comprehend. They will criticize what they can't control. They will doubt what they've never dared to do themselves. And if you're not careful, their noise will drown out your inner voice. You'll start doubting your own destiny, all because you tried to get approval from people who were never assigned to your journey. You've got to stop explaining your vision to those who only operate in sight. Visionaries see beyond the visible. Dreamers see what isn't yet built. You can't expect someone living in a box to understand your wings when God, say, or destiny, or purpose, whatever you call it, gives you an assignment. I challenge he didn't hold a meeting with them. They weren't there when you cried, when you worked, when you prayed for this moment. So why explain what only revelation can explain? Some people are not against you. They're just not built for your altitude. They can't love it where you're going. You keep trying to bring them up the mountain, but they're gasping for air because the climb wasn't meant for them. You don't need to fight to be understood. You just need to keep walking in alignment. Every step of obedience, every move of faith, every risk you take, it will explain what words never could. So stop defending your purpose. Stop begging for validation. Stop explaining yourself to people who haven't even figured themselves out yet. The ones who are meant to understand will recognize your growth without you saying a word. There comes a moment in your journey when you must learn to protect your peace and guard your purpose. You must understand that not everyone deserves access to the inner workings of your mind, your dreams, or your pain. You don't owe everyone an explanation for who you are, what you believe, or why you move the way you move. Because the truth is, most people are not asking to understand you, they're asking to judge you. They want to fit you into their small frame of thinking. They want to make sense of your path using the lens of their own limitations. And when they can't, they call you arrogant, distant, or different. You are not obligated to make sense to small minds. There's power in being misunderstood. There's strength in walking silently with purpose while the world talks. The more you grow, the less explaining you'll have to do. Because explanation is a form of seeking permission, and you don't need permission to be who you were born to be. You see, the need to explain yourself often comes from a place of insecurity. We want to be accepted. We want to be understood. We want to make sure no one gets the wrong idea about us. But no matter how hard you try, some people will still misunderstand you. No matter how clearly you speak, they will twist your words to fit their comfort zone. No matter how honest you are, they will see you through the filter of their assumptions. So stop wasting your precious energy trying to be fully known by people who are committed to misunderstanding you. You don't owe everyone your story. You don't owe them your pain. You don't owe them your reasoning for every move you make. You don't owe them an explanation for why you walked away, why you stayed silent, why you chose peace instead of drama, or why you decided to rebuild your life quietly. You are allowed to outgrow people without making a speech about it. You are allowed to protect your space without feeling guilty. You are allowed to say nothing and still be right. There are some seasons where silence becomes your greatest defense, because silence cannot be misquoted. When you stop explaining yourself, you take your power back. You stop allowing people to play judge and jury over your decisions. You stop letting opinions shape your path. You stop performing for approval and start living for purpose. Some of the most powerful moments in life are the ones where you simply walk away without defending yourself, where you let your peace speak louder than your words, where you decide that your growth is more important than being understood, where you finally realize that you don't need to prove your right to be at peace. People will always talk whether you do good or bad, whether you succeed or fail. So why waste time explaining your every move? The same ones who question you now will applaud you later. The same ones who criticize you today will quote you tomorrow. The same ones who doubted you will eventually say, I always knew they'd make it. Let time and truth be your witness. Let your consistency speak. Let your results explain what your words never could. When you learn to stop explaining yourself, you start walking differently. You start speaking differently. You stop begging for understanding and start commanding respect through action. You stop reacting to every opinion and start protecting your energy like it's sacred, because it is. You begin to realize that not every conversation is worth having, not every misunderstanding deserves a correction, and not every rumor requires a response. You'll notice that people who truly know your heart don't need an explanation, and the ones who demand one don't deserve it. The ones who are meant to walk with you will understand, even in silence. They'll feel your intention, your growth, your authenticity. Without you saying a word, you owe it to yourself to preserve your peace, to stop letting your energy leak through endless explanations, to trust that your truth will reveal itself in time, because your life is not a courtroom and you are not on trial. You don't need to defend your dreams, your healing, or your calling. You don't need to explain why you chose peace over people or purpose over popularity. The moment you stop explaining yourself is the moment you start elevating yourself. Think about it. When you spend all your time trying to explain yourself, you delay your growth. You waste energy convincing instead of creating, explaining instead of executing. The people who really matter don't need explanations. Challenge you to love enough and care enough. They need your example. They don't want to hear you talk about change. They want to see it in your walk. Sometimes the best way to explain yourself is not through words, but through transformation. Let your glow speak. Let your stability speak. Your calmness speak. Let the way you rise from what tried to break you be the loudest statement you ever make. When you finally stop explaining yourself, something powerful happens. You become free. Free from the weight of other people's expectations, free from the prison of people-pleasing, free from the anxiety of trying to be understood. You realize that you don't have to justify your boundaries, your pace, or your silence. You can simply be without needing to be seen, approved, or validated, because the truth is not everyone deserves access to your why. Some people lost that privilege when they mishandled your what. They showed you that they only want your story when it's convenient, your vulnerability when it's entertaining, and your presence when it benefits them. Growth teaches you to stop handing explanations to those who've proven they can't handle your truth. So stand firm in who you are becoming. You don't need to explain your healing journey. You don't need to justify why you took a break, why you distanced yourself, why you started over, or why you're still standing. You're not behind, you're being built. You're not cold, you're cautious. You're not arrogant, you're aware. The next time you feel the urge to explain yourself, pause, take a deep breath. Ask yourself, who am I trying to convince? If the answer doesn't serve your peace, stay silent. Because silence is not weakness, it's wisdom. The more you explain, more you open yourself up to unnecessary judgment. But when you move in silence, you stay in control of your narrative. You don't let people rewrite your story to fit their limited view. You let them wonder, you let them assume, and you keep rising. Because one day, they'll see. One day your silence will make sense. One day your consistency will speak for you. One day your results will tell a story that your words never could. And on that day, you'll realize that you never needed to explain yourself in the first place. You only needed to keep walking in purpose. Some people will never understand the size of what you're carrying because they've never dared to dream that big. They can't see what you see because they've settled where they are. You're talking about purpose. They're talking about comfort. You're talking about legacy. They're talking about likes. You're talking about the future. They're still trapped in the past. You can't expect someone who's never built anything to understand the weight of what you're building. You can't expect someone whose content was surviving to understand your hunger to thrive. You can't expect someone who's never walked by faith to understand the courage it takes to step into the unknown. When your vision is big, you will often walk alone because visionaries see beyond the visible. You see what isn't there yet. You see potential where others see problems. You see possibilities where others see limitations. And when small minds encounter that kind of thinking, it threatens them. It exposes their comfort zone, reminds them of the dreams they buried. So rather than being inspired, they criticize. Rather than support you, they question you. Rather than walk with you, they doubt you. But don't take it personally. It's not your job to convince them. It's not your duty to make them understand. Because they can't. Their perspective is too limited to comprehend your purpose. Their thinking is too narrow to contain your destiny. Their vision is too shallow to grasp your depth. When you carry something big inside you, you have to protect it from small thinkers. Big visions need space. Space to breathe, space to grow, space to be misunderstood for a season. You have to be okay with being seen as strange, too ambitious, unrealistic. Every great innovator, every great leader, every great changer of history was once called crazy by small minds. But history has a way of proving visionaries right. Small minds focus on the problem. Big minds focus on the possibility. Small minds see obstacles. Big minds see opportunities. Small minds gossip. Big minds create. Small minds complain. Big minds build. You have to decide which one you'll feed. Because the more time you spend explaining your dreams to small minds, the smaller your dreams start to feel. When you share a big vision with the wrong audience, they'll talk you out of it. They'll plant seeds of doubt in your mind. They'll make you question your own calling. That's why you must learn to be selective with your circle. Not everyone deserves access to your dream in its early stages. Some people will abort what they don't understand. Protect your vision the way a mother protects her unborn child, gently, quietly, fiercely. You have to be wise enough to know who to talk to and who to stay silent around. Because small minds will always reduce the extraordinary down to what they can comprehend. They'll take a God-sized vision and try to fit it into a man-made box. They'll tell you it's impossible, not because it is, but because it's impossible for them. You cannot let their limits become your limits. You cannot let their disbelief define your destiny. You cannot let their fear rewrite your faith. Big visions require bold hearts. They demand courage, discipline, and endurance. Because when you're called to do something bigger than yourself, you'll face resistance that feels personal. But it's not. It's just the price of carrying something powerful. People with small minds often need to see results before they believe. But visionaries believe before they see. You see the end before the beginning. You speak of what is not yet visible as if it already exists. That's what separates dreamers from doubters. That's what separates those who build from those who criticize. So stop trying to get validation from those who can't even see what you're talking about. You don't need them to understand. You need to keep moving. Because while they're debating your ideas, you're already building what they said couldn't be built. While they're mocking your ambition, you're quietly manifesting what they said was impossible. And when it finally comes to pass, they'll ask, "How did you do it?" And your only answer will be, "I believed when no one else did." Your job is not to make people comfortable with your calling. Your job is to stay faithful to your vision even when no one claps for you. Even when no one supports you, even when no one sees what you see. Because big vision requires inner strength. It demands that you trust yourself enough to walk alone if necessary. Will be nights when doubt whispers in your ear, maybe they're right, maybe it's too big, maybe you should stop. But deep down, your spirit knows better. You can feel it, that pull, that fire, that quiet knowing that you were made for more. You were not born to fit into their limitations. You were born to expand beyond them. You must understand that small minds live in the land of what is, while visionaries live in the land of what can be. Small minds build fences. Big minds build futures. Small minds are threatened by new ideas. Big minds birth them. You can't mix the two. Oil and water don't blend, and neither do limited thinking and limitless purpose. So if they laugh, let them. If they doubt, let them. If they walk away, let them. You don't need agreement to move forward. You just need clarity. Because when the vision is real, it will pull you even when you feel weak. It will carry you through rejection, through loneliness, through misunderstanding, because it was never meant to be small enough for everyone to grasp. Joseph had dreams that made his brothers jealous until the famine came. Vision always precedes validation. You don't wait for others to see it. You walk in until they can't deny it. So stop asking small minds to validate your big dreams. Stop letting limited thinkers make you question limitless possibilities. Stop explaining your purpose to people who haven't discovered theirs. Keep your eyes on what's ahead, keep your heart steady, and keep moving forward, even if you have to walk alone for a while. Because when the time comes, when your vision finally manifests, the same people who couldn't grasp it will be the ones standing in all of it. They'll call it luck. They'll call it timing. They'll call it favor. But you'll know it was vision. It was faith. It was purpose. Not everyone will understand you, but that's okay. You weren't created to be understood. You were created to become. You were created to stretch the limits, to build what others only talk about, to go where others only dream. So don't shrink to fit small minds. Don't dim your light to make others comfortable. Don't water down your dreams so others can swallow them easily. Stand tall, dream bold, build big. Because small minds cannot grasp big visions, but big visionaries keep moving anyway. There is a freedom that comes the moment you stop seeking validation. There is a peace that floods your soul the moment you realize that your worth is not determined by applause, by approval, or by the opinions of others. So many of us live our lives chasing affirmation, like a compliment, a nod, a smile, a recognition that tells us, yes, you're enough. But here's the truth: seeking validation will never make you whole. It will never give you the peace you're looking for. It will never satisfy the hunger that is already inside of you. From the moment you are born, the world begins to teach you that you must earn approval. You are told to be polite, to dress a certain way, to perform, to comply, to conform, and slowly over time becomes a habit, a dangerous habit of living your life for the eyes of others. You start measuring your choices by how others will perceive them instead of by how they honor your purpose. And before you know it, you are no longer walking your path. You are walking the expectations of everyone else. But listen carefully, no one has the right to define your worth. Your value is not based on what others think about you. Your dreams do not need permission. Your goals do not need validation. The approval you are seeking is already within you. It is inside your heart, in the quiet confidence of your soul, in the strength of your own convictions. When you stop seeking validation, you step into your power. You stop giving other people control over your emotions, your decisions, and your peace of mind. You stop measuring your success by applause and start measuring it by impact. You stop trying to be everything to everyone and begin focusing on becoming everything you were created to be. Many people will criticize you, question your choices, or doubt your abilities. And if you are constantly seeking validation, their words will pierce your spirit because you are living for their approval. But when you stop looking for validation, you rise above the noise. You become grounded in your own certainty. You begin to trust your journey even when no one else does. Seeking validation is a form of slavery. Keeps you chained to the opinions of people who may not even have your best interest at heart. It keeps you living in fear, fear of judgment, fear of rejection, fear of failure. And the moment you realize that your approval matters more than anyone else's, you break free. You begin to act not for recognition, but for fulfillment. You begin to make decisions not for acceptance, but for alignment. You begin to live not for applause, for purpose. You have to understand that validation is temporary. Praise fades. Compliments disappear. Approval is fleeting. But self-respect, self-trust, and self-love endure. When you stop seeking validation, you stop relying on temporary measures for eternal peace. You start building a life that is consistent, resilient, and authentic. You start living a life that reflects who you truly are, not who others want you to be. Think about the people you admire most in life. Did they achieve greatness because they were constantly seeking approval? No. They achieved it because they had an unwavering belief in themselves, commitment to their vision, and the courage to act even when the world doubted them. They made choices that felt right even when no one understood. They followed their purpose even when it was lonely. And in the end, their lives became a testimony. Not because others validated them, because they validated themselves. You must train your heart to no longer crave validation. You must teach your mind that the opinions of others are not the measure of your success. You must guard your peace like a sacred treasure and refuse to hand over the keys to anyone who does not respect your journey. Every time you seek approval from others, you give them power over you. Every time you worry about what people think, you weaken your resolve. Every time you chase recognition, you lose sight of your calling. Freedom comes when you stop looking for permission. Growth comes when you stop waiting for applause. Power comes when you stop asking for acceptance. The moment you accept yourself fully, the world's judgment loses its grip. You realize that the only opinion that truly matters is your own. You realize that the voice inside you, that quiet knowing, that inner compass, that sense of right and purpose is enough. Your calling does not require explanation. Your dreams do not require validation. Your decisions do not require consensus. Stop performing for people who will never understand. Stop shrinking for those who cannot see your vision. Stop apologizing for being ambitious, different, extraordinary. When you stop seeking validation, you stop apologizing for your light, and you start shining unapologetically. This does not mean you become arrogant or dismissive. It means you become discerning. It means you know where to invest your energy, who to seek guidance from, and who to ignore. It means you respect yourself enough to know that you are capable of walking your path with courage, integrity, conviction, without needing anyone to tell you that you are doing it right. Many of us live lives controlled by social media likes, by comments, by approval ratings. But let me tell you something, no platform, no person, no community has the right to define your value. You were created with a purpose that predates opinion. You were given gifts that cannot be measured by applause. You were called to a destiny that cannot be validated by popularity. Stop seeking validation in your career, in your relationships, in your personal growth. Stop asking people to confirm what you already know about yourself. Stop begging for acceptance when you already belong. Stop trying to be understood when you are already known by the universe, by your heart, by your inner wisdom. There will be moments when the world doubts you. There will be moments when even your closest friends or family question your choices. But remember this, your life is not a popularity contest. Your purpose is not a suggestion. Your destiny is not negotiable. You cannot live according to the opinions of those who are not walking your path. You cannot seek approval from those who are not chasing your dreams. You cannot expect understanding from those who do not have your vision. When you stop seeking validation, you step into a higher level of freedom. You begin to create without fear. You begin to love without conditions. You begin to speak without hesitation. You begin to live fully, knowing that you are enough exactly as you are. You realize that your approval is your greatest gift to yourself, and once you give it, the world's opinion no longer has power over you. So today, I challenge you to stop looking for permission. Stop waiting for applause. Stop measuring yourself by what others think. Walk boldly in your truth. Stand firm in your convictions. Speak loudly in your vision. Make choices that honor your soul, even if they confuse everyone else. And understand this, the moment you stop seeking validation is the moment you start living in your full power. Your value is intrinsic. Your worth is immutable. Your purpose is undeniable. The world's approval is optional, but your own belief in yourself is essential. Don't spend another day asking for permission to be great. Don't spend another hour explaining why you exist. Don't waste another second trying to make others see what only you can see. Step into your freedom. Step into your power. Step into your life. Stop seeking validation, because the only validation you will ever need is your own. And once you give it to yourself, nothing and no one can ever take it away. There is a lesson in life that many people fail to learn. Words can inspire, but actions define you. Words can promise, but actions prove. Words can talk, but actions walk. And the moment you understand this truth, your life will never be the same. Because too often, We live in a world full of people who talk a big game, who make endless promises, who declare intentions, but never follow through. They say they will change. They say they will grow. They say they will pursue their dreams, but nothing happens. And that is the difference between those who succeed and those who simply dream action. Talking about your goals is not the same as achieving them. Telling people about your plans does not move you forward. Sharing your vision with everyone in the room does not make it real. Action is the proof. Action is the evidence. Action is the language of commitment. You can speak 1,000 words about a life you want to live, but if you do not act, those words are meaningless. They are empty. They are like clouds in the sky that appear beautiful for a moment and vanish without a trace. There is power in doing. There is respect in executing. There is authority in following through. People will listen to your words. They will remember your actions. Words may be forgotten, but results cannot be ignored. You can claim anything, talk about anything, and dream about anything, but your actions will tell the world who you truly are. And if your actions do not match your words, people will eventually see through the facade. Many of us are trapped in the world of saying, we say we are going to change, we say we are going to start, we say we are going to try. But we never do. We wait for the perfect moment, for permission, for inspiration. But action waits for nothing. Action is the difference between who you are today and who you could be tomorrow. Action is the bridge between intention and achievement. Action is the currency of progress. Let me be clear, actions do not require an audience. You do not have to announce every step you take. You do not have to justify every move you make. You do not have to explain your progress to everyone around you. Actions speak for themselves. You do not need applause to validate your effort. You do not need recognition to confirm your commitment. You do not need agreement to pursue your purpose. Every step you take in alignment with your dreams is proof that you are serious about your life. It is easy to talk. It is easy to make excuses. It is easy to give reasons why things haven't worked. But true strength, true integrity, true character is revealed in what you do when no one is watching. It is revealed in your discipline, in your consistency, in your willingness to show up for yourself every single day. Actions are the proof that your words mean something. Actions are the evidence that your heart is committed. Actions are the testimony that your life is being lived on purpose. People are inspired by actions. People are moved by deeds. People are persuaded by results, promises. A kind word is beautiful, but a kind action changes lives. A motivational speech can ignite hope, but consistent effort builds legacies. Dreams shared can excite hearts, but a dream executed transforms the world. Words can inspire a conversation, but actions inspire transformation. History does not remember those who talk the most. History remembers those who did the most. Leaders, innovators, trailblazers, change makers. They were not defined by what they said, but by what they accomplished. They acted when others hesitated. They took risks when others hesitated. They persisted when others gave up. Their legacy was built on action, not affirmation. That is the standard you must hold yourself to. Too often, we measure our lives by our intentions instead of our results. We applaud ourselves for planning, strategizing, and dreaming, but without action, nothing changes. Planning is preparation, but execution is manifestation. Strategy is important, but results are undeniable. You can plan endlessly, but if you never act, your dreams remain on paper. Action transforms vision into reality. Action transforms hope into achievement. Action transforms potential into power. There is another truth you must understand. Action builds momentum. The longer you wait to act, the harder it becomes. The more you hesitate, the more your courage dwindles. The more you procrastinate, the more your dream fades. When you take even a small step toward your goal, you create movement. When you begin to act, no matter how imperfectly, you begin to attract the energy, the opportunities, and the resources you need. Action generates results, and results generate more action. It is a cycle of growth that cannot be stopped once you start. Let your actions match your words. If you speak of success, work for it every day. If you speak of health, honor your body. If you speak of love, show it in your deeds. If you speak of faith, Live it through obedience. Your life becomes a living sermon when your actions align with your words. And when your actions consistently speak louder than words, people will notice. Doors will open, opportunities will appear, influence will grow, respect will be earned. But all of it begins with doing. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for perfect conditions. Stop waiting for everyone to understand. Action does not wait for validation. Action does not seek applause. Action moves forward regardless of fear, doubt, or uncertainty. It takes courage to act when others are silent. It takes faith to act when others question. It takes determination to act when obstacles appear. But action always pays. Words alone never do. The world is full of talkers and dreamers. The world is full of people who have ideas, make plans, and speak about the future. But few are willing to execute. Don't be among the many who talk and never act. Be among the few who do. Be someone who demonstrates commitment through deeds. Be someone whose life proves that promises are powerful only when paired with action. Be someone whose legacy is built on execution, not explanation. Consistency in action outweighs bursts of inspiration. It is not about one heroic effort. It is about showing up every day. It is about taking the next step when no one notices. It is about building discipline, resilience, and momentum. It is about proving to yourself that you are capable of turning your words into results. Your actions are your credibility. Your actions are your reputation. Your actions are the proof that you are living intentionally. Stop talking without doing. Stop planning without executing. Stop promising without performing. Let your actions speak louder than your words. Let your work show your dedication. Let your consistency prove your commitment. Your results tell the story that words cannot. The world will judge your words. The world will test your promises. The world will challenge your intentions, but it cannot ignore your actions. Let your deeds be undeniable. Let your discipline be unwavering. Let your commitment be evident. And in the end, your life stand as a testimony that actions speak louder than words, because in the language of legacy, doing always outweighs saying. There comes a moment in your life when you realize that not everyone is meant to walk your path. Not everyone is equipped to carry the weight of your dreams. Not everyone can go where you're going. And this is not because they are bad or because you are selfish or because the world is unfair. It is simply the truth of life. Your journey is unique, your purpose is singular, and your calling is specific. Some people can support you, some can cheer for you, some can observe, but not everyone can accompany you to the heights you are meant to reach. Too often, we try to bring everyone along. We want our friends, family, and loved ones to understand our ambitions. We want them to see our vision, feel our purpose, and support our every move. We want everyone to be proud of us. But here's the reality: not everyone is built for the altitude you're climbing to. Some people are comfortable in the valleys. They cannot breathe in the mountains. Some people are built for the ordinary. They cannot handle the extraordinary. If you try to force them to go where they are not equipped to go, it will drain you, distract you, and delay your destiny. Your purpose requires focus. Your calling demands clarity. Your dreams need space. And sometimes that means leaving people behind, not because you don't love them, not because you don't care, but because your path requires elevation. They cannot provide. The same energy that lifts you can expose the limitations of others. The same momentum that propels you forward can make some people uncomfortable. The same fire that burns inside of you can illuminate the gaps between your purpose and their readiness. You must learn to walk your path with discernment. You must understand that proximity does not equal compatibility. Just because someone was once close to you does not mean they are meant to accompany you to the next level. Just because someone supported you yesterday does not mean they will understand you today. Often separates those who are committed to their journey from those who are not. And that separation is not rejection. It is refinement. Many people are not equipped to handle your vision. They are not built for your calling. They cannot endure the sacrifices you must make. They cannot tolerate the pressure that comes with progress. They cannot endure the discipline required for greatness. And when you try to carry them with you, You slow yourself down, compromise your focus, and weaken your trajectory. It is a painful truth, but a necessary one. Your growth may cost some relationships. Elevation may create distance with those who were once close. Your success may highlight the limitations of people you love, and that is okay. Because the people who are meant to go where you're going will rise with you. They will match your pace. They will breathe in the same air of purpose. They will understand your sacrifices, honor your vision, and walk beside you without hesitation. Everyone can go where you're going because not everyone shares your hunger. Not everyone shares your faith. Not everyone shares your resilience. Not everyone is willing to pay the price that comes with progress. Some people are comfortable with mediocrity. You are not. Some people are comfortable with predictability. You are not. Some people are comfortable staying small. You are not. And if you try to make them understand your journey, you risk losing yourself in the process. Your journey is sacred. Your path is yours alone. While community is important, companionship is optional. You must protect your destiny, your peace, and your purpose. And that sometimes means walking alone. Sometimes means letting go of people who cannot keep up. That sometimes means saying no to relationships, opportunities, and obligations that do not align with your calling. This is not selfishness. It is stewardship. You're stewarding your life, your gifts, your potential, your future. And stewardship requires courage. It requires wisdom. It requires the ability to make tough decisions even when they hurt. It requires the strength to release what is familiar in order to embrace what is extraordinary. You will encounter people who cannot understand your dreams. You will encounter people who doubt your decisions. You will encounter people who criticize your ambition. And that is why you must trust your own vision. You must follow the whisper of your own heart. You must pursue the calling that burns inside of you, even if it isolates you from those you love. Because not everyone can go where you're going. And that is not a reflection of you. It is a reflection of your destination. Think about the great leaders, the innovators, the pioneers, the ones who changed the world. Did they bring everyone along? No. They left people behind intentionally or unintentionally because their journey demanded a different level of commitment. They walked through trials, faced opposition, and moved forward despite isolation. And in the end, they reached heights others could not even imagine because they did not compromise for the comfort of others. Your purpose may require you to rise while others remain stagnant. Your destiny may require you to leap while others remain grounded. Your calling may require you to take risks while others cling to safety. And that is why it is essential to embrace the reality that not everyone can go where you're going. You do not need the approval of everyone. You do not need the understanding of everyone. You do not need the companionship of everyone. Your journey is not defined by consensus. It is defined by commitment. And your commitment will require you to make choices that honor your path, not someone else's comfort zone. Some will criticize you. Some will misunderstand you. Some will turn away. And that is the cost of growth. But let me assure you, those who are meant to go where you're going will rise to meet you. They will match your pace. They will celebrate your victories. They will support your efforts. And most importantly, they will inspire you to keep going when the journey gets hard. So today, embrace your path. Protect your journey. Honor your calling. Walk with courage, knowing that not everyone can go where you're going. Let go of the people who cannot keep up. Release the opinions that do not serve you. And focus your energy on those who will rise with you, support you, and understand the weight of your dreams. Your destination is higher than most can imagine. Your calling is greater than most can understand. Your life is bigger than most can handle. That is why not everyone can go where you're going. So step boldly, walk confidently, pursue relentlessly, and remember this truth: your path is sacred. Your journey is yours, and not everyone is equipped to walk it with you. But that is okay, because you were created to rise. And your elevation does not depend on anyone else. It depends on your faith, your courage, and your commitment to go all the way. Not everyone can go where you're going, but you can, you must. And when you do, you will inspire those who are ready to rise. Leave behind those who are not, with grace and strength. There is a power in silence that the world often misunderstands. In a culture obsessed with speaking, explaining, and defending, silence is mistaken for weakness. But let me tell you something today. Silence is not weakness. Silence is strategy. Silence is wisdom. Silence is power. It is a form of strength that the loudest voice cannot compete with, a shield that no argument can penetrate, and a force that no distraction can diminish. We live in a world where everyone feels the need to respond, react, or justify themselves at every turn. When someone criticizes, we speak. When someone judges, we explain. When someone misunderstands, we defend. But in doing so, we give away our power. Every word we speak in reaction to negativity drains our energy. Every explanation we give to someone who will never understand weakens our authority over our own lives. True strength lies in choosing silence, even when the world expects noise. Silence allows you to observe. It gives you perspective. When you remain silent, you see the motives of others clearly. You notice who is acting out of fear, envy, or insecurity. You recognize who is truly aligned with your purpose and who is merely a distraction. Talking too much, responding too quickly, or defending too passionately often clouds your judgment. Silence clears it. Silence sharpens your vision. Silence protects your heart. Many people underestimate the strength that comes from holding your tongue. They assume that because you are quiet, you are weak, uninformed, or powerless. They are wrong. Silence is the mark of someone who has control over their emotions, control over their reactions, control over their narrative. When you remain silent, you refuse to give your adversary the satisfaction of a reaction. You refuse to validate their criticism. You refuse to be a pawn in someone else's game. There is a kind of mastery that comes from silence. It is the mastery of knowing when to speak and when to stay quiet. It is the wisdom of understanding that not every comment deserves a response, not every opinion deserves acknowledgement, and not every attack requires a defense. People will always test you. They will always provoke you. They will always seek to elicit a reaction. But those who understand the power of silence are not swayed by provocation. They respond in their actions, not in words. They demonstrate strength, not through noise, but through restraint. Silence is also a form of self-preservation. When you speak too quickly, too often, or too emotionally, you risk exposing weaknesses that others can exploit. Silence allows you to protect your mind, your heart, and your energy. It gives you the space to reflect, to process, and to decide your next move carefully. Silence is not emptiness, it is fullness. It is a strategic pause, quiet strength that fuels decisive action. Think about the greatest leaders, the most influential people in history, those who truly changed the world. They did not always speak to be heard, they spoke to be understood. They did not respond to every attack, they responded with vision, strategy, and results. Their silence was not indifference, it was intentional. It allowed them to conserve their energy for the battles that mattered. It allowed them to act when the time was right, rather than react out of impulse. Silence is a weapon for those who understand its value. Silence is also a form of emotional intelligence. It shows that you are in control of yourself, that you are not swayed by emotion. You can hold your composure in the midst of chaos. It demonstrates patience, resilience, and maturity. When you are silent, you are not allowing others to dictate your emotional state. You are choosing to respond from a place of power, not a place of reaction. You are proving that your inner peace is more valuable than winning an argument or proving a point. Moreover, silence communicates more than words ever could. Quiet presence, a calm demeanor, a measured response, these convey authority, confidence, and integrity. People notice when you do not react impulsively. People respect someone who does not feel the need to defend themselves at every turn. Actions and results amplified by silence speak louder than words. They demonstrate character. They demonstrate discipline. They demonstrate strength. There is also a spiritual dimension to silence. It is in the quiet moments that clarity comes. It is in the stillness that insight is revealed. It is in the absence of noise that you hear your own inner voice, your guidance, and your truth. Silence allows you to connect with yourself, to align with your purpose, and to discern your next steps. Those who rush to speak often miss the wisdom that comes in quiet reflection. Silence is the bridge between thought and action, between vision and manifestation. Silence is not passive, it is active. It is deliberate, it is intentional. It is choosing to hold your peace in the midst of chaos, choosing to act with purpose rather than react with emotion, and choosing to preserve your power rather than give it away. Those who understand silence wield it like a sword, cutting through distraction, cutting through manipulation, and cutting through noise. The world will always pressure you to justify, explain, and defend. People will always want your attention, your validation, and your response. When you embrace silence, you rise above that noise. You maintain your focus. You preserve your energy. You command respect. And ultimately, you demonstrate strength that cannot be challenged, mocked, or diminished. There is freedom in silence. There is peace in silence. There is power in silence. Choosing silence, you reclaim your narrative. You protect your peace. You sharpen your strategy. You cultivate patience, discernment, and resilience. You rise above the petty distractions and focus on what truly matters. Silence is the strength of the wise, the power of the disciplined, and the mark of those who understand that life is won not by words alone, but by measured action, intention, and purpose. So today, I challenge you to embrace the strength of silence. Stop reacting to every provocation. Stop explaining yourself to every critic. Stop justifying your choices to those who will never understand. Let your quietness speak volumes. Let your restraint demonstrate your power. Let your actions and integrity do the talking. Silence is not absence, it is abundance. It is a form of strength that protects, empowers, and elevates you. The quieter you become, the more you hear, the more you hear, the more you understand. The more you understand, the more you control. And the more you control, the stronger you become. Remember, silence is strength. It is a shield, a weapon, and a tool for victory. Use it wisely, use it deliberately, use it intentionally. Because when you master silence, you master yourself. And when you master yourself, you become unstoppable.